Where do you even start? Where do you even start? We all knew that was coming. Let's not get away from it. Everyone watching this now would have seen that coming as soon as you'd have seen the team that Steve Bruce put out. 5 at the back. Hendrick and Sean in the midfield after playing 120 minutes at Arsenal 3 days ago. Wilson left on his own. The bench looks stronger than the starting 11. It takes a lot for me to get angry at football. It takes a lot for me to get angry at football. But Bruce is. Let's try and start from the top. You saw the team he put out, as negative as you can get for a team that haven't won a game all season, that are probably a mid-table championship side at best, right? You play, and in that 5 at the back, you don't even play Richie as your left wing back. You play Dummett, who can't get forward, and went off because it was so clear he's still not fit enough. Still not fit enough. And he played at Arsenal. We see pictures of Manquillo in training. We see pictures of Kraft in training. They weren't even on the bench. Why is Yedlin there? There wasn't a defender on the bench. It's just absolutely fucking clueless. I don't even know what shape we played. What shape did we play? It's absolutely ridiculous. What formation did we play? And if he hides behind the red card, then he may as well retire from the game altogether. It's an absolute joke. Embarrassment. Absolute embarrassment to the shirt, that was. The shape, the midfield looked tired. Sean and Jeff Hendrick were absolutely fucking appalling. No shape, no, it's just so sloppy. No impetus, no inspiration, no creativity. There was only one person that ran through brick walls, and that was Andy Carroll when he came on. Which, again, he should have started. I've been saying it for the past 10 days. This was the game for Andy Carroll. Not Arsenal in the Cup. This was the game. This was the game for Andy Carroll, to play up front with Wilson, like they did first game of the season at West Ham, where they looked okay. This was the game. And then you'd bring Murphy on for the final 6 minutes for... What was the point? That first half was appalling. Fraser's red card was idiotic. Let's not get away with it. Fernandez's red card penalty incident, VAR is always going to give them. Always. And it all comes back down to one person, how the midfield played, how the defence played, how negative they played. All Callum Wilson could do was fuck around and try and win fouls. Did absolutely nothing, because what could he do apart from try and win fouls? It all comes down to one man and one man alone, and that's Steve Bruce. And I don't even want him on the coach home back to Newcastle. I don't even want around them players at all again. He's got to go, and he's got to go now. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's not get away from the fact that Sheffield United deserved to win tonight. That's how poor it was. We go to Arsenal again on Monday. That'll be 9 games without a win. Who have we got after that? I think we've got Leeds coming up. How many games do you give it? How many games do they give it before you finally get rid? Because we're all sat here thinking the same thing, saying, well, he's got to go. We all know he's got to go. But we all know they're not going to get rid of him. He's absolutely pathetic. He's pathetic. How he just stood around and moped on the touchline for nearly 90 minutes. I didn't hear any shouting from him. Embarrassing. The substitutions were made too late. At half-time, down to 10 men, that game was still a winnable game. If you'd have gone about things the right way. You could have took Dummett off, clearly unfit. Shoved Clark at left back. You've got your flat back 4. Bring Almiron on. Bring Murphy on. There you go. Get some fucking width about you. Get some crosses into the box. Go 4-4-1. Crazy. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see what you're saying. Piss poor. Josh, yeah. Game of crying out for Gale. Possibly. The thing is, as well, with that midfield in the second half, where were Hendrick and Sean playing? Because it just seemed like they were all trying to play in centre mid. You had Cher, Hayden, Sean, and Hendrick all trying to play centre mid in that second half. So Sheffield United just went out wide, as any team do against us. But if they'd have done 5 minutes homework, because we're that shit out wide. Absolutely embarrassment to the shirt. If I hear the words work in progress once more, if I hear backs against the wall because we were down to 10 men, forget it. Pathetic, embarrassing, clueless. He's got to go, and he's got to go now. Not at the weekend, not after Arsenal. He's got to go now, and he should be making his own way home from Sheffield. Can get a fucking taxi back up the M1A1. Pathetic. Pathetic. Absolute. The thing is, we all saw this with Steve McLaren. And Steve McLaren is still worse than Bruce, don't get me wrong, because Steve McLaren had a bloody good team. We're still missing a few things. But the board leave it too late. If you have some foresight, you could have got rid of Bruce months ago. Eddie Howe, 2 + 2 = 4, a clear, obvious appointment, really. If it's just a kind of safe pair of hands, it's nothing too exuberant, is it? Eddie Howe, bring him in, play 4-2-3-1. Why is so opposed to 4-2-3-1? It just seems obvious. Is it me? I don't know, because it just seems obvious with the players we've got, with the system we should be playing, 4-2-3-1. Why the hell was Matty Longstaff on the bench? You rested him for a reason. You didn't play him at Arsenal for a reason. Where was he? He didn't even get off the bench. Almiron didn't even get off the bench. It's clear Bruce has a problem with Miguel Almiron, because when he does play him, he plays him out of fucking position and plays him on the right. Don't get me wrong, with Fraser, I was so keen to see him play, purely because of the creative energy that we need. Thick as pig shit, them two challenges. And that's doing a disservice to pig shit. Pig shit's useful on your garden. Ryan Fraser was absolutely useless to everyone and anything tonight. I cut a frustrated figure in the first half because it seemed like he was just playing along the line on his own. Was he playing a number 10? Because if he was, that's twice now. Steve Bruce has played Ryan Fraser, one of the best wingers available last summer in the Premier League. He's played him in the middle, which he can't do. He was drifting in and out of places, couldn't get anything. Absolutely fucking brain dead. Stupid. And now he's in again. Is he ever going to get fit? He better add, because we bloody well need him. We need him playing well. You need some foresight. You need to act. You need to be proactive instead of reactive. Which is what, I mean, I know the heart isn't in it anymore, and I'm talking about board level now. I know the heart isn't in it anymore because they want to sell and we want them gone. Of course we do. But you've got to kind of protect your investment or whatever, because you ain't getting 350 million in the Championship for Newcastle United, are you? Let's face it. Bruce isn't going to resign, because otherwise he won't get his compo. If he had any integrity about him, and if he claims he's a Newcastle fan, which he isn't, he's a Man United fan. I mean, we had Paul Nicholson, the dart player pundit, on Greenwood and Mulliner last week. He summed it up perfectly. Perfectly. Go and watch that video. Jesus, he summed it up perfectly, did Paul Nicholson. It's just absolutely pathetic. We've seen this coming for so long now. I've been in a bad mood all day. I've been nervous about this game since Boxing Day, because you looked at them fixtures. We got a bonus point against Liverpool, fantastic. The performances had been slightly better against Leicester and Arsenal. There was effort there. But I've been nervous about this game because this was the game that you pointed at to say, right, this is our next 3 points. We need to be targeting this game for 3 points. We did the double over them last season. They haven't. They're so shit. They barely look like scoring all game. the game was still winnable even after 60 minutes. And you know it's bad when you've got Villa fans showing sympathy for us. There's a work in progress because they're actually seeing progress. Look at the progress they've made since they got rid of Steve Bruce. That's proper progress. It just looks like a team in such regression, coasting to 17th place. How can anyone not see it? Everyone sees it, but yeah, we obviously expect Champions League, clearly. We obviously expect Champions League. Of course we do, because we're the Newcastle fans. We're the fan base that expects so much. We expect the world. We want the days of Sir Bobby back. We should be challenging. We've had a slow start, but we can challenge Liverpool and Man United, right? Yeah, that's what we expect. Do me a fucking favour. Honestly. Remember when we had 9 men in the Championship against Forest? We had more possession in that game than we did tonight. Absolutely crackers. Absolute pathetic, embarrassing, disgusting, disgraceful. It's just how does this end? How does this end? Where do we go? Do we have enough to stay up? It depends on 3 teams below us. That's it. That team is rotten. That team's rotten to the core under Steve Bruce. Rotten to the core. The players' heads went towards the end. Normally, the Newcastle United from the past few years, and I don't want to keep comparing it to the previous manager because that gets you nowhere. It's pointless. But how many late goals have we seen us score over the last few years? Because we fought to the end. There's been fight in the team. Players lost their heads tonight. Hayden lost their head. Shea lost their head. Loads of players lost their heads. We were never getting back into the game. The only way we nearly shithoused our way to the point because Sheffield United nearly scored an own goal with the last kick of the game. Their keeper had one eye for most of the second half because his contact lens got dislodged and he could barely see. We had 2 shots on target, both from free kicks, both pretty much straight at him. Absolute crazy. Right, fan reaction show is up in 2 minutes. Matt and Johnny on there tonight. Please get your views in. I'd love to know if there's any Bruce supporters out there because, let's face it, there's not. But Bruce has got to go, let's face it. We all know that. Sharp should have been sent off, absolutely right. VAR must have been on a fag break when that was happening. Yeah, fan reaction show coming up in 1 minute. Then I'm back at 9:30 for scoring the players, followed by Lee with the last word. It's going to be difficult tonight. It's going to be really difficult, but yeah, there's a lot to get off our chest. But yeah, stay tuned to Newcastle Fans TV.